Hi there, and welcome back to part 22 of History of Fleetwood Mac Singles. I'm Anita. Today I'm going to try and make as concise and short a video for you, but kind of cramming a lot of stuff in there. And we're going to open it up with the Greatest Hits album, the first Greatest Hits album put out by Fleetwood Mac, consisting of the Rumors lineup. This was put out November 21st, 1988. It was a great album, and along with it, and all the hits of like "Don't Stop" and "Gypsy" and "Hold Me" and just every great song that came out prior. From 77 to 88, they released two new songs with it. One was "As Long as You Follow," and the other was "No Questions Asked." The reason I say I'm going to make it kind of brief is because there's only a few singles from that, but they really just kind of phoned it in for that album. I would I hate to say the word money grab, but I think it was kind of the beginning of that. I mean, we were definitely due a greatest hits by this time, by 1988. But the effort put into this, the picture sleeves and the artwork and everything else, band had just changed, as you recollect in the last video, and also just common knowledge. Lindsay had left the band, and Rick Vito and Billy Burnett had joined. So they did two new songs. They were about to go into the studio and do the Behind the Mask album that came out in 1990. But it's like they just wanted something in between to be like, hey, look, we're a new band. We have these guys. And they just kind of pushed this out and just slap whatever the heck you want to on the, for the artwork and visuals and just call it a day. So we're going to kind of zip through that, and then we're going to get into Stevie Nicks' Other Side of the Mirror, which came out May 11th, 1989, but the same with that one. And I'll go into a little bit more detail in a second for that. But before I start, real quick, there's kind of an odd bird out, and this was the Not So Silent Night. No, that's not it. Silent Night is a song. My apologies. I'm thinking of a concert I'd seen. Um, but the Christmas album that had come out with Stevie Nicks' Silent Night. And this isn't as obscure as it is kind of pricey. If you find this, you definitely want to grab it. And you're going to have more luck looking under John Mellencamp because Stevie's the B-side. But this was a really nice find, hard to get, and it was a very special Christmas, or special Olympics Christmas. Not So Silent Night. That was a show in the 90s with like Hole and Garbage. I don't know where that came from. Anyway. But this one is before the greatest hits. This had come out at the tail end of 87. And yeah, so really nice find. Again, Stevie Nicks, B-side. It's not that it's so rare. It's that it's usually, I've found personally that it's usually in about the $50 range, if you can find a copy. So if you find anything, if you find this and it's under that, definitely I would definitely get that if I were you. So again, moving right along with the greatest hits. The first single that came out, the album came out again November 21st, 1988, and the first single, As Long as You Follow, nice sweet little kind of ballad, slow tempo Christine song, came out the same month. And the first 45 from that was a USA release. No picture sleeve, same front and back, little promo for it. And then the Canadian version, which is the regular version, decided to put as a B-side the live "Oh Well," which is what they had done. They'd recorded "Oh Well" with Billy and Rick for the 1987 Tango in the Night concert release, VHS. I don't even know if it was on DVD at the time, but Laserdisc. No, for sure it was on VHS and Laserdisc. But yeah, so the Canadian release, they took the "Oh Well" from that recording and put that on as a B-side. Also in the US, when it first came out, there was a picture sleeve. But this is what I mean about phoning it home. And ironically enough, I love green, first of all, and I love this logo. And but I don't know how to explain it. Just a little bit more could have been done with it. Once you saw it as an album cover, as a 45 cover, It's what they used on virtually every CD release that came out. It just got to be a little monotonous after a while. There's just no band pictures. There's no just this, just over and over and over again. So there's not really much to show you, and not even the labels are really different. So this was the U.S. release. As long as you follow with Oh Well Live. UK, identical. Back is the same. The B-side is also Oh Well Live. Germany, just a different paper, a little bit darker. Even the label looks the same. Spain, however, they got creative. It was a miracle. By creative, I thought it's just a different color. But, you know, it's a promo out of Spain. And they mention, you know, some of the songs on the greatest hits. I'm sure that this is real. This has been out for many years. I had this close to, if not around the time the album came out. So, you know, I think it's a legit release. Because as I've talked to you before in the past, I think that a lot of stuff from Spain and Mexico with picture sleeves may not be authentic. But this one I believe is 100% correct. Again, promo, and it is back with, so it's as long as you can follow on both sides, both A and B sides. So yeah, there's that one. So that was a, wow, big difference. In the UK, they actually put out Stevie's, so that was Christine's song, Contribution to the Greatest Hits, and then Stevie contributed No Questions Asked. So those were the two new songs on the album. And in the UK, they released Hold Me, just the regular Hold Me from Mirage, not a different edit or anything like that, and then opted to put Stevie Nicks' song as the B-side. So both songs got legit releases, just one in the United States, one in the UK. Well, both for the UK, one in the US. And I did not know about this for many years, actually. I found this first, and then I found out there was like a CD single of this, and seems like there's something else, maybe a couple CD singles. But yeah, and so that was the UK. No questions asked. So that was it for the greatest hits, Fleetwood Mac Greatest Hits. We come right into Stevie Nicks' Other Side of the Mirror. That was released May 11th, 1989. And from it were 4 singles. The first single being Rooms on Fire, which came out a month ahead of the album, April 24th, 1989. And again, great album. Not so super fond of the cover. Not really so super fond of the 45 cover, of which they used in every single country. There's virtually no variants, but there are a lot of variations on the labels. So the first thing we have is the Rooms on Fire from April 24th, 1989. The USA single, which I don't believe came with this picture sleeve. This is just a B side, you know, A and B side the same. But it just, when I purchased it, it came with the picture sleeve. But I think it would have just come like this. But that's just me. And then we do have the American one, picture sleeve. And it is the Modern Records label with Rooms on Fire back with Alice. We have that same picture sleeve and absolutely nothing on the back. Other than the labels, once in a while you'll get like a bolder print on the back or something real fancy. I'm being a little sarcastic. It was really kind of dull. Just there's been so many different things I've shown you guys, and part of my love of the 45s. And trust me, there's probably 10 other countries with the same photo that I'll still want to buy and still need for my collection. But just that they didn't do anything different. There's no There's no font layout that's really different. There's nothing. It's the same photo, same thing, just like over and over and over again. Just like very little thought seems to be put into it. What I will give credit for is that a lot of that was put into the video. That was a really nice video that came out for it. And we hadn't seen a very full, like a little storyline video from Stevie since, I mean, Talk to Me and Talk to Me has more of a little bit of a story than I Can't Wait, where it's just, dancing. But the Rooms on Fire video was like a little story. So, yeah, so there's that. Mexico, no picture sleeve. And oddly enough, instead of Alice being a B-side, it's Fire Burning. So that makes that kind of unique. That makes that kind of stand out. And I believe this one is a promotional only. So it's very interesting that it's a promo and not double-sided Rooms on Fire, or not Rooms on Fire with Alice, but Fire Burning as a B-side. Kind of interesting. This is a UK one. It is not her signature. I don't know if I got this in a trade, or I could have been stupid enough and thought it was legit. I'm very bad at her autograph. I have plenty of real ones, but I'd like to think, I think I got this in a trade. So yeah, that was the UK one, and Black Label for that. So we say UK, but then we say England. Same cover, but they've got the silver and Black Label. Two of those. Australia, we're back to the Parlophone label. And I think Australia might have, nope, everything's same, font, size, and everything. No variance whatsoever on these. France. Oh, France is the one. France went big. Go big or go home, France. Font is much larger. That's about the biggest difference there. And we're still on Rooms on Fire with Alice as a B-side. So that would be France. This is Italy. This poor picture sleeve is in really bad shape. It's super soft paper. And it's got this weird cutout, as I've shown you on a couple other singles out of Italy. And this is the label. A little difference there. And what do we say the last four? And let me tell you what. This is the first time where I'm severely disappointed. I think this is about the dullest Japan picture sleeve I've ever seen in my life. Only soon to be followed by Long Way to Go, which is equally as dull. So we just really didn't give, in my opinion, really much thought to her single. No picture, not even the record cover, nothing on the back. Just the lyrics. This is the white copy, the promo. Personal preference, not complaining, just kind of weird, right? For the UK, now the UK went and got, and these pictures, by the way, I'm 99% sure I'm right. Sorry, I didn't mention that. I'm pretty sure that it's Herbert Worthington. I can't be wrong on that. But this is what I mixed up. It's a long story. I'm sure it's Herbert Worthington. So, being as it's Herbert Worthington, and such a weird choice, we go to Paul Cox, who did this photography. Beautiful, beautiful photos. This is Stevie. This is, just in my opinion, more representative of her image and the vibe of the song than the photo. This is not the worst photo. I'm not hating on the photo so much, but I just don't get anything from it with the song and with the layout. There's not much to be had. Just like there's a picture for you, and whereas there's some texture. There's this beautiful dreamy photo on the back as well. We've included this other dreamy photo. Definitely top three in my favorite photographer for Stevie Nicks is Paul Cox. Love his photos of Stevie. So this was a long way to go back with Real Tears, yet another Stevie Nicks B-side. Great song. Didn't take a while to grow on me, but in '89, I don't want to tell you how old I was, but I had mentioned in for Rock a Little, I was understanding for Rock a Little, definitely Taking on the Night, but I was understanding albums coming out and dates and seeing magazines and stuff. This one, I was with it the whole way. I was with it up until, the first time they said it was coming out, and if it changed by a month or a week, like I was waiting on bated breath. And this would have been the first album where I was at the store that day and got the single. So when I listened to this song, and this single came out 1 month, yeah, 1 month, no, same month, but later in the month in the UK. So I don't think I had this as a single yet to have Real Tears on it. That seems right. So it took me a while to get this. So after having heard the album, Real Tears figuring into the album, it did not mesh, but it's just kind of different to me. Let's put it that way. So, but it was all I could do to get a hold of something so that I could get the B side. Because with Rooms on Fire, we had Alice. We didn't have Long Way to Go in the United States, but we had eventually. Well, first of all, we had Long Way to Go as well with Real Tears and from Australia. Everything's the same except the very different labels. It's still the same photography, same layout, everything verbatim, but still at least a little bit more put into it. Germany, in the same, sorry. Just the label is a little bit different. And again, with this extremely, just, I don't know, Japan just didn't really, pretty color, but there's just really nothing to it. However, they did put a picture on the back of the album cover at least with the lyrics. And this one is a promo. But yeah, not my two favorite Japanese releases, to be sure, for the aesthetic and the layout and everything of it. So that was Long Way to Go. And then back to the US, finally, August of 1985. So 3 months after the album had come out, we finally get Two Kinds of Love, which had the B-side of Real Tears. So that's what I'm trying to say. So I had been listening to the album from the day it came out for about 3 months before I got Real Tears. So again, what I was trying to convey is factoring Real Tears into the whole vibe of the album was just kind of unusual for me. And I loved it, but it was just kind of, it stuck out a little bit to me. This was a really neat find of, it's a test pressing, but it's on acetate. So again, it is a promotional issue, working title. They haven't gotten the record label, the like Modern Records, like all that. So I imagine this is what got sent out, or maybe those ones like I had shown you where they write everything to it, then they get it all down, what needs to show, but then it needs to be pressed on the Modern Records label with the background and such. Perhaps, I'm not too sure. But this is Two Kinds of Love, double-sided, and a promotional only test pressing. So it's a really neat have right there. And then we get the Two Kinds of Love backed with Real Tears USA version. But we have the same picture sleeve. So I don't mind. because I hadn't seen all those other copies yet, because I hadn't acquired, stuff from overseas yet. So in the United States, this was different. Um, but getting all those copies of Rooms on Fire, and it's the same over and over and over again. This was really a breath of fresh air, and this very much went. This very much goes with the whole mood of the song, in my opinion, which is just that, my opinion. Um, Now, what really stands out, and these are really, really special, is Two Kinds of Love, which came out overseas, particularly um, Australia and Germany. But the Australian one is really hard to find. Took me a while to find this one. And what's even rarer than this one is a 3-inch CD, which I'll show you when I get to my CD collection. That is one of the second rarest pieces in my collection. Probably the rarest in my CD collection. Whereas I had shown you the Australian Imperial Hotel record was the rarest in my 45 collection. This might come in a close second. This is pretty hard to get. And what's really hard to get is in good shape. And I went to about 2 or 3 copies before I got one in this condition. And it's a beauty. So this is Australia, Two Kinds of Love with Real Tears. And then after thinking I'd gotten the only one, and it was only released in Australia like that, lo and behold, it is also in Germany. So Germany also put out a copy, and same thing. The only difference is the labels look different. But yeah, so again, if you're watching me and you decide you're interested or you are collecting, these are definitely, put these high up on your want list, because they're hard to come by. And then I did good, wrapping it up with the last single that was released off of Other Side of the Mirror was Whole Lot of Trouble, which came out October 30th, 1989. Big hit for Stevie, great live. And again, 2 more great shots by Paul Cox. 3 shots with 1, 2, and 3. And this was a UK single. And so this is Whole Lot of Trouble with Edge of 17. I think the standard Belladonna Edge of 17 release, correct? Yes. So not like the live version or anything like that, just this is unique. So, and there you have it. So I didn't mean to run through. Half of the reason I like showing these is because, I think that it's interesting, all the little differences. And the labels are fun and different, but, there's usually a lot of differences on the sleeve, or even if they're small, it just kind of makes, for nice and have the layout and such. But both the Greatest Hits and the Rooms on Fire were just really the same over and over and over again. So I kind of want to make that quick, because there's just really nothing to see there for you, not so much to show you. Having been able to wrap this up in one video, we're going to go part 23. We'll go right into Behind the Mask, which has a fair share of singles. Probably can do a video, and then pretty soon I'll be wrapping up the 45s. I see the 45s at worst to be another 2 or 3 videos at most, possibly 2 more. And then I'll begin on the LPs. Or let me know. Do you want me to start it on CDs? Do you want me to start the albums, the photo albums? I'm trying to kind of put the photos, pop-up videos for you of photos in between. I had begun this to show the record collection, but I had also started this to show you everything. And I was kind of going through, because everybody's been so nice, and I've grown pretty well in I've only been up for about a month now. By the time you get this, maybe closer to 2, but there are these are all ideas, collections, and specifics, things to show you out of the collection, which maybe doesn't look like much, but a lot of stuff. There's a book collection, there is magazine collection, there's a tour book collection, there's a calendar collection, poster collection, pins, magnets, bottle openers, tchotchke collections, calendar collection, concert t-shirt collections. I mean, I have a lot of content. So my intention again is to start off with my albums. But I like putting little stuff in between to show you and to just kind of keep it interesting. And but if you'd rather that I start with something else, let me know. I'm hearing from a couple of you, and I appreciate it. And people are still watching it without commenting, so I guess I'm okay to proceed with what I'm doing. But yeah, so that's it for today, and I got it in about under 30 minutes. So again, next time we'll be behind the mask, and thank you again for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night. Bye.